Welcome back to the Blissful Athlete, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sri Nithyananda, and I'm an ordained Nityananda Yoga Acharya. And today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I experienced Samadhi, which is a pretty bold statement, I know, as a yogi, but this is something that I can authenticate because it was my guru himself that said I was in this state. And to give a background of this story, if you don't know who my guru is, his name is Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and I came across him around 2014, end of 2014, and I immediately was hooked. I found him on YouTube, and I saw that he was promoting a program called Inner Awakening, a 21-day yoga meditation event, and I made the immediate decision to jump and go. And over the course of the next 2-3 years, I became more and more of a devotee and eventually a disciple of his. And I decided to take a program called Nityananda Yogam, which was a 3-month program where you got to go to his ashram, to go to his home and live there and be involved in his sangha. And what made Nityananda Yogam so incredible was the fact that you got to spend so much personal time with him. He has his own personal courtyard, and we had a number of different things happening there, and the main bulk of which was manifesting powers, manifesting the Shaktis of Paramashiva. We had countless sessions of manifesting powers while he was sitting there. We were in his presence, and it was a very small, intimate environment. There was, 50 of us or so packed together in this small area, and it was just so auspicious. It was such an incredible energy. And one day we're practicing manifesting the power of the third eye. I can't remember the exact power, but near the end of the session, my guru had said, "Drita, come here." He said, "Your third eye is open, but it just needs a little more crack." And so I went to him and I just sat down next to him. During that time, I was just sitting there, just sitting with him. And as soon as I sat down, the fact that he had called me to him to go and sit there, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude. It was like, wow, Swamiji, that's what we call him, Swamiji, like I was just like overwhelmed with excitement for this possibility, for this happening. And so I just sat there, and I was sitting like this, facing outwards, and Swamiji was right here. So I literally just sat, or he was sitting this way. So I was parallel to him, and I was just sitting in just such deep gratitude. And I closed my eyes, and I can't remember where my hands were initially. It doesn't matter. But I was just sitting there, and I was like, my face wasn't open. I was just like, before I knew it, the session had ended, and I was lost in this space. I couldn't get up. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to move. I was in just deep blissfulness. Before I knew it, one of his closest disciples, Ma Yanatma Swami, she had said something to Swamiji in Tamil, and I didn't know what it was because I don't speak Tamil, but then Swamiji replied to her in English and said, What's wrong with one of my disciples sitting here, enjoying my space in Samadhi? And in that moment, I was like, oh, like this is a Samadhi space. And it was the most blissful, deep space of just restful awareness that you could possibly imagine. How to describe it? It was, there was nothing else that could fulfill me. There was nothing else that I needed to be satisfied in any way. It's beyond words. Just imagine, if you don't have a guru, imagine what your version of God is, what the divine is, or the person that you love the most in this life, times a million. It's such an incredible relationship to have. And in that moment, sitting with Swamiji, I was just lost in this state of blissful awareness. And so ultimately, the story of how I reached this space of Samadhi was very simple. I did nothing. I had said yes to the opportunity to live with a guru, to live with an enlightened master. And saying yes eventually led me down that path and led me to that experience, led me to that state. And it was just such a divine divine happening, and I did nothing to deserve it. And I did nothing to earn it. It was just given to me. And it can be given to you as well. All you have to do is say yes to life. If you are a seeker, if you are somebody that is on the spiritual path, then seek. Be intense in your seeking. The only reason I was given that gift was because I was intense in my seeking, and I took action in my seeking. If there's one thing that you can take from this video, it is to say yes to life in as many ways as you can. And when you meet a spiritual teacher that resonates with you, listen to what they say. Otherwise, don't have them as a spiritual teacher. Either listen to them and be integrated to them, or don't, and have a different teacher. But I can say one of the most blissful and grateful experiences of my life was the result of me saying yes again and again and again to my spiritual teacher, my master, the Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Thank you very much for watching and allowing me to share this story with you. I don't normally get really emotional like that, but what I want you to know is that your spiritual growth is just at the tip of the iceberg. You have no idea what your body is capable of experiencing, what your consciousness is capable of experiencing. And I'm so grateful that you came to watch this video, and I wish you nothing but blessings to experience the same as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm going to be sharing more of this type of content, sharing my stories with my master, and I hope it inspires you and ignites you and awakens your Kundalini in some way or another. So thank you very much for tuning in. Nithyananda, be blissful.